Fingerprints of a child. I am not who I used to be. You ever look back on your life and realize, I am not who I used to be? Sometimes the things that bring that to the surface aren't sermons or songs. Sometimes it's a fingerprint, a smudge left on a window by a child. Now, looking in, there was a time you stood outside in the dark, looking in, watching life, family, faith, joy through the glass. Maybe you were a child, or maybe just spiritually immature. You could hear something going on in there, laughter, warmth, love. Maybe it was your first time visiting a church, or hearing real worship, or seeing a family that loved each other with no strings attached. And you thought, whatever that is, I want to be a part of it. Then there's growing up phase. Paul said in 1 Corinthians 13:11, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. See, God didn't save you to leave you in immaturity. You're not who you used to be, not just because you grew older, but because you were reborn. That child on the outside looking in, that was you. And now you sit at the table. But memories have fingerprints too. Some are beautiful, some are painful. These are things you've done, things that were done to you, moments you'd give anything to erase, and that voice still whispers, you're not really changed. You're still that same broken person. You don't belong at the table. But that voice lies. Romans 8:1 says, there is therefore now no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus, who do not walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. You don't belong to your past. You belong to Christ. Thank God for His grace. Maybe that child left fingerprints on the glass, but the Father left fingerprints on your soul. He touched you. He reached through the glass of sin and shame and pulled you in. That's grace. You didn't clean yourself up. You didn't earn your way in. You were adopted, forgiven, washed. Titus 3:5 says, not by works of righteousness, which we have done, but according to His mercy, He saved us. Now, when you look back, don't just remember what you did. Remember what He did. Remember who you are now. You are not who you used to be. Your past is a story, not a sentence. But here's something real. We can't live in yesterday's testimony. We need to know where we stand today. David prayed in Psalm 139, verses 23 and 24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties, and see if there's any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. It's not about guilt. It's about growth. Ask Him, Lord, is there anything in me that doesn't reflect who you are? Any residue from the old me I'm still holding on to? We don't examine ourselves to condemn, but to realign. that you walk in the light as he is in the light, according to 1 John 1:7. We ask not to question our salvation, but to welcome sanctification. Let him reveal what still needs to change, because transformation is a daily surrender. You're a son. You're a daughter. You are known, loved, and chosen. 1 Peter 2:9 says, you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. And now you're inside. You're not just looking through the window. You're carrying the light. So here's the question. Are you still letting the fingerprints of the past define you? Or are you letting the fingerprints of grace shape who you are? Look around. You're not outside anymore. You're not a stranger. You are his. And he's still working on you. Thank God for that. If this hit home, share it. Leave a comment. What's one moment in your past that reminds you how far God has brought you? Because you're not who you used to be, and neither am I. And that's the kind of story this world needs to hear.